Today we're talking about gender identity, with an in-depth look at what it's like to have a gender identity disorder. With us today, Arissa, a male-to-female post-operation transgendered York student who talks about her experience being a member of the York community and going through gender reassignment surgery. The DSM-4 has very strict guidelines for the diagnosis of a gender identity disorder. Those guidelines are very specific on the fact that these issues usually begin in early childhood.
I'd say that was actually around the age of 5 or so. Like, I wanted to express myself in a feminine way, but I couldn't because of who I was.
Arissa goes on to discuss her school environment.
Well, I just felt it was really hostile. Like, when I was going through Catholic school, it was really heteronormative and really not inclusive at all. If I had expressed any of these feelings, there would have been a backlash. So, like, there was that feeling of hostility before I even like came out or anything.
Although many people might find it hard or even impossible to come out as transgendered, many can find support from family and peers. Such support systems include the TBL Gay Office right here at York, where trans people can find support and inclusion.
I came out of college, and my family pledged their support 100%. They went with me to all my doctor's appointments, and they really helped me out. They were really supportive of me just like expressing myself as who I was. And my peers were really helpful too, because it was like, well, if this is what you need to do to be happy, and this is who you are, then we'll respect who you are. So I felt like I felt a lot of support from my peers, my friends, and my family.
Okay. Now more about the next steps. Among the many treatments available for a gendered identity disorder, including psychotherapy and behavioral modification, is gender reassignment surgery. To some, this may seem extreme, but to most, this seems like the only viable option. Gender reassignment surgery begins with the psychological assessment of the person requesting the surgery. After the assessment has been completed, hormones can be prescribed by doctors to promote the growth of secondary sexual characteristics. For female to male, testosterone, and for male to female, estrogen. After this has been prescribed, the transgendered person must live in their new sex role for at least 1 year prior to the surgery, providing documentation to prove so.
Like, this big bureaucracy, like, I had to, like, present documents to them, proving that I was living as a Arissa, quote-unquote. So, like, I had to present T4s, I had to present income statements, I had to present, school transcripts, volunteer letters, like, all sorts of stuff. It was really invasive, and I felt like I was, like, talking to an audience worker, pretty much. It was really stressful, because, like, it's really dehumanizing to, like, have to, just to get treatment for something that I feel like is important to who I need to be and how I need to feel comfortable, and, like, have to go through this bureaucracy process. And, like, it wasn't necessary. I can understand a certain level of, like, assessment, but that was beyond what was necessary, in my opinion. Where else do you have to, like, prove to the doctors that what you are who you say you are? Like, it's kind of a messed up context, you know? But, like, because of who I was, like, they felt they had to put me through the ringer.
There are many optional parts of gender reassignment surgery, but the main part is the restructuring of the genital area. As you can imagine, recovery from this can be a long process. Thankfully, there are plenty of resources available for those recovering.
But I recovered really quickly because, like, I went to the gym, like, after 3 months. Like, I was pretty athletic before, like, because I practiced martial arts. It differs for each person depending on their health. I'd say it took me about 3 months or so to get to a point where, like, I could go to the gym and participate in the activities I normally did. But even then, like, I was still recovering. And, like, I'd say, like, it took maybe about 4 to 6 months before I really started to, like, feel, like, really awesome. And now about 8 months post-op now. Post-treatment, there were, like, follow-ups from nurses, there were follow-ups from the doctor. It was really comprehensive. They made sure that, like, you know, I was taken care of and that I was recovering very well. They did that for about 2 months afterwards. Slowly decreasing levels of frequency, but they were very caring, compassionate in their aftercare, that's for sure.
you.
And they actually had like a recovery house that you would go to after like you had surgery, and like they took care of me for like 2 weeks then. And like it was fully staffed, there were PSWs, nurses there, and like my medication was given at all times. And they made my life as easy as possible while I was recovering too. Yeah, so it's kind of like there's also this peer support network of sorts of people all going through the same process at the same time. It's a really special experience, but like, you know, it was kind of miserable too because, you know, recovering from a pretty major surgery.
That's all for today. We leave you with these inspiring words from our guest, Arissa.
Honestly, just be like really self-reflective and like really figure out who you are and what you want, and don't feel like pressure to identify one way or the other. Like it's a journey of self-discovery. So, you know, take it as what it is, like an opportunity to rediscover who you are and become more authentically yourself.